On Tuesday evening, the Union City Board of Commissioners held their bi-weekly meeting at the Bella Vista Apartments over on 22nd Street. As expected, a number of Mayor Brianstock's critics came out, and they weren't shy about voicing their opinions. The main topic of conversation seemed to be former Police Chief Charles Everett and his $284,000 payout.
That later. Because the reason why I came here is because of the Chief's payout. And I have a few questions for the Mayor. We know this has been a topic in the news for the last couple of weeks, and I would just like to know, how much did you in fact actually pay Chief Everett this year?
Christine, I believe Christine had the figures on that. We may not have them readily available. We could get that to you.
I can tell you what it is. It's $400,000. This year, Chief Everett has been paid $400,000. Can you tell me how many days Chief Everett has actually worked this year?
I don't have that readily available.
I'll tell you what it is. It's 0. Chief Everett has worked 0 days this year, and he has been paid $400,000 by the taxpayers. I have the documentation to back that up. You've stated in the past that you're opposed to all these payouts, correct? Is that correct, Mayor?
Go right ahead.
No, I'm asking you, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
And I asked you a question.
I am opposed to
You're
them.
opposed to these payouts, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you tell us 5 things you have done in Union City to slow down the growth of public employees' salaries?
Mr. Blakely, I'm not going to get involved going back and forth with you.
No,
I
it's not
understand
that. It's a question.
You have to let me finish. You have to let me answer the question.
Go ahead, answer it.
It's a lot of political rhetoric. You hear with an axe to grind, and I understand that, and I can appreciate that. I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to allow the Union City Commission meetings that serve residents of this community to be politicized by you who lives in Morristown or anyone else. So you can say whatever you like, and we'll take it in here, and I don't have to answer your questions.
No, you do have to answer my question, because you're a public official. You are a public official.
Mr. Blakely, I know who I am.
Mr. Stack.
I know who I am.
Mr. Stack, let's get this straight. I'm a citizen of this state. I pay taxes, correct? And you are an elected official of this state, correct? So therefore, I have a right to ask you questions, and you have an obligation to answer them. What are you trying to hide? You claim that you were following the advice of counsel when you gave Everett that money, correct? Is that correct, Mayor?
My comments are clear.
All right, then I'll answer for you. You said that you gave Everett the money under advice of counsel, correct? Listen, Mayor, you don't want to answer the question?
You answered. You said you answered for me.
Because you don't want to answer the question.
You answered for me.
Okay, so you want me to answer all the questions for you?
You can answer all of them.
All right, so let's get this straight. You were acting under advice of counsel when you gave Everett the money, right?
You just said you were going to answer
Okay,
for me?
yes. No, I'd like you to answer, because I'd like you to explain to the public.
I'm not going to play
No.
your political rhetoric or anyone else's
Listen.
political rhetoric.
I don't think it's political rhetoric when you pay a guy $1 million. When you pay a guy $1 million over 5 years, a guy who committed a crime, who stole from the taxpayers of Union City.
That's to be determined
No.
That's to be determined by law enforcement, Mr. Blakely. I'd be very careful on how you characterize that.
All right, let me characterize this way. If a person bills the city of Union City for services not rendered, knowing that they're supposed to be somewhere else when they're in the gym working out, what do you call it?
We turned it over.
No, what do you call it?
You have to let me answer.
Answer the question.
You have to let me
Okay, go ahead,
answer.
let's
You haven't
hear
even
it.
heard my answer.
Let's hear-
We
let's hear
turned it over to the proper authorities,
Okay.
and they'll make a determination on that.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, what is your personal feelings when a person takes taxpayers' money and abuses it?
Oh, I'm highly against it.
You're highly against it, but what are you going to do about
Absolutely. We turned it over to the proper authorities.
it? What are you going to do about it?
We will do everything in our power, being guided by counsel and by the authorities.
Okay, so you're guided by counsel on this?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And isn't it true that your own counsel, Mr. Wally Timpone, recommended that you file 220 disciplinary charges against Chief Everett? Isn't that correct?
His report is public record.
Yes, so you're acknowledging that Chief Everett should have been charged 220 times. Why did you not carry out your duties and charge him?
Mr. Blakely, we did exactly what counsel told us to do.
No,
Chief Everett resigned and retired at that point, and he was off the job.
So you did everything counsel told you to do?
We did it to our best of our ability.
Then how come you didn't charge him?
Absolutely.
How come you didn't charge him?
Because he retired and resigned at that point. We were told by counsel not to proceed any further on it.
You are lying,
To
Mayor.
turn it over, sir, to turn it over to law enforcement, in which we did, and we're waiting upon law enforcement.
You're claiming Chief Everett retired in October, correct? You said he resigned and retired, correct? Those are your words.
I didn't say what date it was. You said.
No, you said he resigned and retired, correct?
He did.
That was in October, correct?
I don't remember the exact
Yeah, it
date.
was October. What was his official date off the payroll?
I really don't know. I couldn't tell you that right now.
June 1st.
I
So
couldn't tell
for
you.
the 6 months, for the 8 months from October to June 1st, why did you not file charges against Chief Everett?
We were guided by counsel and by the Attorney General's office.
You're contradicting yourself because your own counsel, I have the report right over there.
We were told by counsel and the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office asked us not to proceed.
Did your attorney...
You may not like my answers, Mr. Blatler, but it's the truth.
Because your answer is a lie.
Sir, if you're going to call me a liar, I'm not going to entertain any more questions.
I'm calling you a liar.
You can make a statement if you like, but I'm not
I'm
going to
not making a statement. I want you to answer.
You're coming here with a political axe to grind because you weren't made the chief of police. Come on.
Listen.
Let it go already.
Listen.
It's nice to see you in the city at this time. We never saw you at this time before.
Listen.
When you were a deputy chief.
I was your best friend when I was a deputy chief.
Please.
I was your best friend. You get that?
I don't
listen,
think so. Please.
Listen.
Maybe
You can characterize it any
that
way you want. You can characterize it any way you want, but you're dodging the issue. You were in a position to save the taxpayers $1 million by firing Everett, and you did not carry out your duties and
Mr.
responsibility.
Blatler, once again, we were guided by the Attorney General's office and told not to proceed, to let them do their investigation.
Did your attorney also say bring him up on charges?
The Attorney General's office told us not to proceed. You may not like my answer, but they told us not to proceed.
They cannot stop you.
They told us not to proceed.
So what they tell you? Just let him walk out the door with $400,000?
I answered your question, Mr. Blatler.
What they do?
I answered your question, sir.
Isn't it true in 2007 Everett filed a federal lawsuit against you?
I'm not going to entertain this.
You're not going to entertain it. It's all relevant to this matter.
You can make your statement if you like, and that's fine.
It's in 2007, it's a fact that Chief Everett filed a federal lawsuit against you and he called you corrupt. True or false?
I'm not going to get back and forth into this.
You don't want to go back and forth because you don't want to answer the questions.
Okay.
Because the bottom line is that over a 5-year period, you had the duty and responsibility to take action against Everett, and you did nothing. Okay? You allowed $1 million of taxpayers' dollars to fly out the window, and you did nothing to protect the taxpayers. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You should really be ashamed of yourself. And you're sitting here, and you're not answering questions because you cannot answer the questions. Because you are covering up for Chief Everett.
Thank you.
Because you paid him off to leave because you didn't want him talking about you. Okay? Hey, isn't it true? Isn't it true that in 2007 he filed a lawsuit against you?
You answered the question.
Okay, and isn't it true you brought 66 charges against him? Let me ask you this question, and just try and answer this one question. When Everett accused you of being corrupt in a federal lawsuit, was he lying?
I'm not going to entertain this.
Why not? It's a simple
I'm
question.
not going to entertain it. I'm just not going to entertain it. You come here with a political axe to grind.
What's my political act?
You want to make a mockery of the commission meetings in Union City, and we're not going to allow it.
No, it's not a mockery.
We have
You know
great
why?
progress in Union City.
You make
We're
great-
saving money. We abolished the position of deputy chief.
You know why you're
We're saving money.
You know why you're saving money?
The police department hasn't missed a heartbeat since we don't have a deputy chief.
I'm glad they haven't. I'm glad they haven't.
I would like to know how much you pay for taxes here. Do you pay taxes here?
I pay taxes in the state of New Jersey.
Please,
Okay.
Mr.
Well, let's
Blatler,
get
please
to that.
don't engage with other people in the
She asked me
audience.
a question.
It's improper, though.
I
It's
apologize.
improper.
She
But
asked
you
me a
can do
question.
that after the meeting.
I'll ask you this question, though.
We don't have time here.
I'll tell you, I pay taxes in the state of New Jersey, and you're a distressed city, correct? So my tax dollars are coming back here. Listen, obviously, you're not going to answer any questions because you can't. You know exactly what's going on. You could have stopped the taxpayers from paying $1 million, but you choose not to. So you know what, Mayor? Sit there all you want, remain silent. But you know what? Little by little, it's all coming out what you're all about. Okay?
Thank you very much.
How's the FBI thing working out?
Thank you very much.
The FBI thing's working out okay for you?
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too. Yes, sir.